Life after death? Hi, I'm Richard, the Yorkshire Atheist. Now for this video I thought, let's go somewhere particularly jolly, and so I'm here at the local cemetery. Just over that way there's a churchyard cemetery of the beautiful parish church in the village where I live, but I'm just in the sort of local authority cemetery here. It's fascinating. I always love walking around graveyards and cemeteries, a bit of a morbid fascination of mine, but obviously today's video is about life after death. I thought this seemed like a good enough place to come and talk about that. Life after death, particularly within Christianity, which is the religion I used to be a part of, is a really interesting idea, because in a lot of ways that's kind of what it's all about, isn't it? Like, there's the stories in the Bible and God and the creation of the world and whatever else, but the reason Christians do what they do is because they think they're going to be rewarded in heaven, in paradise, for eternal life of joy and happiness. However, the messages in the Bible about heaven, and especially about hell, are very, very mixed. Part of the reason why I left Christianity was this question of why isn't God more obvious? But I guess a subset of that is kind of like, why isn't the whole life after death thing a bit more obvious? And in fact, thinking about it, and lots of people have over a long period of time, there's literally no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing if someone has died and gone to an afterlife, because what's left on earth, that's sort of Christian language, what's left on earth is the same whether someone has or hasn't. There's no way of knowing. But I don't think Christians even nowadays have a very particular idea about what heaven and hell even are. I remember as a Christian thinking, heaven sounds a bit boring. Eternal life, fine, okay, great, happiness and joy, but just praising God every day. I used to think, okay, don't I get a bit more than that? Like, heaven's supposed to be amazing, but then I was like, oh well, I won't kind of be me, because I'll be this sort of mindless God worshipping thing, which I guess I thought God was good and stuff at the time, but I wasn't really sold on the whole heaven thing. I think some other religions certainly have much better sounding sales pitches for their afterlives. But certainly the idea of hell's interesting for me, because a lot of the things that I see online of American Christians in particular, but lots of ardent and vocal British ones too, talk about the fear of hell and what it means. But actually, looking into it, hell isn't really mentioned that much in the Bible, and the bits that it is mentioned in don't really describe it in that much detail. There are conflicting accounts of sort of lakes of sulphur and fire and the gnashing of teeth and all that lot. But actually, lots of our popular ideas about hell come from pop culture of the past. The idea of demons with pitchforks and the rings of hell, and all of those things come from either mythologies of other cultures or from things like operas or plays that people have written in the past, which have been popularised and have become part of the sort of current conscious idea of what hell is. Why do I care about this? Well, one, lots of people do care about it in their own personal lives, whether they go to heaven or hell. But also, I care about it because if there isn't an afterlife, if I don't have a second shot at it once I've died, then I need to make sure that I'm making the most of the life that I've got. I'm a secular humanist. I'm a humanist, and part of that is that I believe that I've only got one life. The reason I believe that is because I've never seen any evidence of anything else. Obviously, there are claims in the Bible and the, I guess, holy texts of other religions. But actually in the world, aside from these, never has there been any evidence of that. Charlatans, psychics and whatever else aside, because don't get me started on that. But yeah, I've never had any evidence to believe that there's a life after death, so I don't happen to believe there is. I'm very open to being convinced, and certainly if you happen to know about one, let me know, because I guess it'd be worthwhile looking into. But yeah, the importance of that for me is that I just know this is the one and only life I know I'm going to get, and so I've got to make the most of it, and that's what I'm imploring you to do as well. we definitely know about this life. We're here. I mean, I'm in this depressing graveyard. I definitely know I'm here and I've got this life. And we're surrounded all the time by things which tell us that life is fleeting and precious. Every gravestone that I'm surrounded by here is a very solid example of that. We know we've got this one life. Don't waste it. Right, I'm walking home from the graveyard now. I've had enough of that place for one day. I'll definitely be back for another day because, like I say, I love graveyards. But in the meantime, please feel free to subscribe, share, like, whatever you fancy doing there. As well, if you've not caught my other show, Skeptic Hangout, where me and two of my friends, Richard Gilliver and Laura McGee, talk about a different topic each week, whether that's, I don't know, creationism or politics, ghosts, UFOs, conspiracy theories. We've just done an episode on pseudoscience, which is out next week, is about Buddhism, loads of stuff. We don't know what we're talking about most of the time, but we enjoy ourselves, and hopefully you would too. So yeah, check that out. You can find that on Linktree/Skeptic Hangout. Until next time, take care and see you soon. Ta-ra!